Do you?
What's going on, do-it-yourself? My name is Yuka, aka the Rapping Mechanic, and today we're going to be going over this Rolls Royce Ghost 2010 model, and we're going to be doing some repairs on some of the things ourselves with this car throughout this whole series and episode. So just stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment if there's anything. I'll be sure to get back with you. So the first thing is today we're going to be exploring a check engine light, but more so a parking brake malfunction, emergency parking brake. So when I had my car delivered to me, I just bought this car. And I probably bought it for probably the cheapest Rolls Royce Ghost out there. I got it for a really good price. And but it had a couple things that I knew were wrong with it. And me being a mechanic, I knew that I could fix these things. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this. But the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of the parking brake malfunction light. So what happens is when you turn the car on, the parking brake malfunction light comes on, the electronic parking brake. What happened is, I guess in transportation to from Michigan to here, something happened with the parking brake. It snapped. So while I was driving it, I kept hearing this clunk in the rear right side of the in the wheel, and I was like, "What is that? Like, is something dragging?" So I took the wheel off and I inspected it, and I found out that the cable had snapped, and because the cable snapped, the brake shoes that's in the drum was loose and just moving around in there. So we took that off and we ordered a part, and we're gonna get it. Okay, you guys. So here's my double R Rolls Royce, and I got some service due that's gonna be done. We're gonna change out the engine coils, the spark plugs. We're gonna do oil change on this car. We're gonna just make sure everything is good to go. I've already did a check on the check engine light, and I know what that is on for. So I'm gonna get that done after we do the parking brake sensor. So as you can see, as I turn the car on, we only have 50,000 miles on this car. It says parking brake limited, engage, release while stationary, not possible in parking brake. So basically saying that something is wrong with my parking brake. And I had already, hit my little button here. So when you hit the button here, it's supposed to lock it. And supposed to unlock it. And I can hear it, actually. I can hear it moving in the back when I push that button. So I really hadn't pushed that button for a while. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect that. And I'm gonna show you where that parking brake is once I jack the car up. But we're gonna go do some more things before that. Okay, so because I already know that my cable on the passenger side cable has broken off, I went ahead and ordered this electronic brake for the Rolls Royce. It's probably pretty similar to the same one for the BMW 760. So I will put a link in the description to where I purchased this from. I also went ahead and purchased new brake shoes for the driver's side and the passenger side, because I'm going to have to take both wheels off to connect this one. This was the old one, and again, what happened was with the old one, the cable came undone, and me not knowing what really was going on, once the cable came undone, this right here got all loose, and it kind of just rolled to the bottom of the wheel, and it was just spinning around down here in the bottom, making noise. All this hardware that was in that is all damaged and no good, but came with all the new hardware that's going to be needed to actually make this perfectly sound and good again. All the hardware. So all this stuff here, I have it all brand new, and we're going to get that all installed. And take this wheel off. I'm going to take this wheel off. This was the first wheel that I took off. This is the one that was causing the noise. So I've already taken it off, and I removed the brake shoe in there. That's why my electronic brake isn't working, because it's disconnected, but it's okay. It still functions perfectly. We're going to take off this center cap. I know that my center cap has a crack in it. So the suction cup method doesn't work for me, but I'm going to try to do it by using a couple of small tools that I have. I have this really small pick
angle pick and just a little bit of like a little tiny pry bar once I get a little bit of leverage for this seal. So this is the center. This doesn't actually come out by itself. It comes out with this little ring right here as well. So once you can pull this off a little bit, you can get something behind here and you can pop that off. That's what we're gonna do. Let's see what happens. Get a little bit of groove in there. Kind of twist it and pull a little bit with this tool that I have. And then my goal is to try to get this, this right here behind this lip. So let's see if I can find a spot where that'll work for me. Not working out. I could probably just, I guess I could just try to get behind that lip. Okay, there we go, get behind that lip there. And then once you get behind that lip, I should be able to pop this out a little bit. Ah, there we go. So, kind of dirty. I'm definitely gonna be ordering a new one of these faces here. So I have my 17mm socket, that's gonna go on my breaker bar. I'm gonna go ahead and break these loose before I start to jack up the rear end of the car.
You gave me chills like a cold night in November. I can take you there. Shopping sprees, do your nails in hair.
So the placement of my jack is going to be right here. There's like a little nipple. I can fix my shadow, but there's like a little nipple there, and I'm gonna put my jack right up under that, and I'm gonna raise up right there. So go ahead and get that hooked up. All right, back with your socket. Go ahead and move the wheel. Since we already broke it loose, it'll be nice and easy. The thing about these here is that they don't have nuts. They're actually studs that go all the way through the rim and also the wheel hang.
I'm sending you texts, I'm sending you roses, I pick up whenever you call. Whipping a miracle, thinking it's cynical. When she on top, she can't fall. Yeah, yeah, I can take you there. Yeah, yeah, let me take you there. Yeah, let me take you there. I can take you there.
Let's put them over by my wheel center cap, and then I can go ahead and remove
the favor you got with me, it don't seem fair. Not surprised when people see us, they all stare.
They don't want to come
Point
off.
a map anywhere. How do we get there?
Use
I
off the
don't
ground.
care. We took the long way home, I remember.
Let me get my map.
Gave me chills like a cold night in November. Lay next to a king like a cub named Simba. We took the long way home, I remember. I promise you all my love. Never have to want a thing.
It was done that way. It didn't want to come off.
I'ma rub you back. I'ma cook a meal. And I'ma catch
Extra
a
support.
I can take you there. Shopping sprees, do your nails and hair. The baby you got with me, it don't seem fair.
Since we're going to be removing the brake, I'm going to go ahead and take off the brake reservoir cap so that way the brake fluid can come up if and when I get ready to push the calipers back up. So you're going to go to your bonnet. You're going to come over here on the Rolls Royce. The brake fluid reservoir is on the driver's side, and there's like a little door here, a little latch that you can actually open up here. So let me go switch. All right, so this right here is with your brake fluid reservoir. You just pop that open a little bit, okay? And if it doesn't hold, you'll see it there. And then all you're gonna do is you can actually just, you can unconnect it. I don't know if I unconnected last time. I'm just gonna take the top off. Just take the top off because the car is off. And just sit that there, let that drain. And that will allow you to have a little more brake reservoir fluid, you know, catching mechanism. I actually went ahead and put another car jack brace on the rear. So I got one in the front here where I placed that one, which is right there. And I also have one right here as well, just for extra security. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this caliper off. So let's get started. We're going to use our T20 to take off the plastic brake cover, caliper cover. Just make sure you sit it in there nice and good and put some pressure on it, and then try to twist so that way you don't strip your instrument. Because if you just kind of lightly put it in there and try to twist, it need to be seated nice and flat and pushed in to get that to spin properly. And it sometimes it be in there really good. Like this last one is in there really good, but it's just because I had the short handle. But once you get that off, just go ahead and spin that off. I'm gonna put on my gloves here because I don't want a lot of break dust on my fingers. Not gonna be good with black hands. Hey, black hands. So again, we are changing out the emergency brake unit, the entire system, which is going to tie back into the back of each of these wheels, and then we're going to go from there. So this is not, I've never done this before. This is my first time doing this. So you guys get to see what I see for the first time. Again, it's just a Rolls Royce. You're going to get your flathead screwdriver at this point, and you can go ahead and try to get this little metal brace thing off of here. It's really sturdy, it's really strong. It's not gonna go anywhere, but you do have to try to get it off, and you have to pry it, of course. But once you pry that off, and then you should be able to get it to respond. Like it doesn't want to come off. I know it doesn't want to come off, but just play with it, pry with it. That's probably a super good technique that I don't have yet with this, but you get that off. Again, you got pry these top piece off first, the bottom piece off next, and then you can get the center out. Get that out. Now we're gonna go to the back and start. We're gonna do the breaker bar to break loose the brake calipers from the actual support strut system. And then once we get the brake caliper off, we'll be able to get off the rotor. Once we get the rotor off, then we'll be able to see the electronic brake system. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna need to get your 40T star. You need to get your 40T, actually 40T47, I'm sorry. T47 is what you're gonna need. And you're gonna use your flathead screwdriver. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that out. Set that to the side. You're gonna take your, again, I use Duralast T47. Let's stick that in there, like so.
Yeah, boy. Y'all already know I'm gonna do what I do. In spite of everything, I cannot stop now. No matter what they say, I'm at the top now.
So after you get those two bolts out here, those T47s, you want to make sure you go ahead and give yourself some room with your brake caliper by just pushing on it, spread it out a little bit, just get it off of there a little bit, give you a little space on there, and that's going to allow you to slide this top part of the caliper off. So we kind of, that right there, just open the caliper up. Go ahead and take this off, and we're going to put this to the side. We're going to keep this part rolling. You should be able to slide right on off now. And here's those two bolts that were in the back that was holding the caliper onto the caliper harness. Just gonna go ahead and set those to the side, and then go ahead and take this off. Brake shoes might fall out, that's fine. They still really good. Still really good brake wear and depth. So I don't need to change my brake pads right now, but I am going to go ahead and take these off. We got one on, and I'm going to sit this one right over here. Make sure you want to make sure that that caliper isn't like hanging down on the brake line itself. You don't want any pressure on the brake line. You want it to be nice and free and steady. So we're gonna put that over there. Now we're ready to take off this piece right here, and this piece is gonna be another. We're gonna use a breaker bar for that as well. Yeah. So the bolt in the back is gonna be an 18. You can see that 18 millimeter. I'm using an 18 millimeter with the upgrade to allow my breaker bar to get in there and break those loose. And I'm gonna go ahead and get that broken loose, get this rotor off, and get to the good stuff. So this is the brace, the caliper brace. We're gonna get to that bolt right there. We're gonna take that one off, gonna break that one loose. Then we're gonna also break this one loose as well. So, okay, one of the bolts out, and then the bottom one, bolts out. Take the brace off, brake caliper brace. I'm gonna go ahead and just put those back in there a little bit so I don't lose them. Put them back in there so I don't lose them. All right, let's get this rotor off. We are doing the rotor removal right now. And the biggest thing about the rotor removal is there's this star. You can't see it right there. But there is this here. There's this star here. 45. Okay. So I was using a star when I should have been using a hex. This is a 6 millimeter hex, and the 6 millimeter hex actually fits nicely in there, nice and snug. Okay. Well, let's see if I can just use this right here to tap it loose. Let's get it. And I'm just gonna go right there. Break it loose. Once you get that out, it's a good day. Voila. 6 millimeter, no damage. We looking good. Put that over there on my 6 millimeter. All right, now we can hit this rotor off. Heavy. It looks good. It's real good. Move this out of the way. All right. Now we have our emergency brake components, and we're gonna go ahead and disassemble this and put in the new stuff and get ready to do the same for the other side. Okay, so I got the emergency parking brake off, and what I did, the first thing that I did was I was able to let's see, let me find the part. Where's it at? The little so it sits on there. It sits on there like so. And the first thing I did was this right here actually screws. You can twist this right here, like left and right to you can twist it one way and it opens up, which makes it tighter. And you can screw it the other way, and it lowers it, closes it up and makes it loose. So that was the first thing I did, and then I was able to remove this. Then I was able to remove the spring, and then I came around and I got my 5 millimeter hex 5 millimeter hex wrench, and I twisted this one like counterclockwise, and it popped out. So that unlocked this one from the metal housing, and then I came and I did that as well, and so that kind of gave me the ability to freely move this all around this the wheel hub. But I still didn't realize, I mean, I know I had a cable. I had the cable, which is right here. This is what the cable looks like. This cable here was in was in there, and I can kind of see it. This cable was actually in that hole right there, and I could see the cable in there. So I took my flathead screwdriver, and as you can see, there's like a clip there. I pushed the clip down, and I was able to open this up. it unlocked itself, and then it allowed this right here to kind of open up a little bit more, and the cable was sitting. The cable sits into that little groove right there. So once you have that open, the cable kind of just slides right out, and that's what it looks like. So because on the other side, I'm going to show you exactly what happened. So this is what a good side looks like, and I was able to disassemble this, take it out. Everything looks good. You know, this piece right here, pay attention to this piece right here. I have this piece on this side, have my cable here, and everything looks good on this side. So we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side of the Rolls Royce Ghost, and on the other side is where I had my problem. So I already got the car, you know, lifted up, wheel is off, and yeah, the wheel is off. And so inside of this electronic brake drum, it was a mess. So I removed, like I showed you at the beginning, I removed all the brake pads and everything, and it looks kind of shredded up in there, right? So this part here is what those little spring things hook into. So I'm gonna have to replace this metal piece right here. So I'm gonna order this whole metal piece that's all shredded up. And it's like that also on the bottom. It's pretty much gone. So that has to get replaced as well. So I'm gonna order that tonight. But the other thing on this side that I didn't notice until now, because I didn't know what it looked like until I compared it to the other side, which is why I had to open up the other side, is that one metal piece I told you to pay attention to. It's like a metal bar that comes out right here. It has been shredded down to a pulp. It is gone. So that bar has to get replaced. The good thing about it is it looks like if I unscrew this bolt and this bolt, I can take that piece out and order that piece and put it back in. So that's a good thing. I don't have to replace the whole, you know, wheel shaft or whatever. So that is something else that I'm going to be ordering tonight and wait for that to come in. So the Rolls will not be back on the road tonight. I'm not going to waste my time putting it back together and driving it without all that stuff in there. It'll be fine, but I'm not going to do that. You could do that, however. So yeah, that needs to get ordered and replaced. And then the cable slides right through. The cable slides right through that hole. And I've already disconnected that one little 5mm screw that sits in the back here. I've already unscrewed that. And this is what my cable looked like. So my cable is shredded as well. It is no good. I can hear that it's still connected in the box, but I can hear it's still connected. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take this whole cable out and the box next, and then we're gonna set that all up so that way when the part comes in, all I gotta do is kind of just put it back together.
So stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment if there's anything. I'll just get back with you.